What if I told you that you can make tons of beautiful dresses using just a simple A-line pattern, and then you can add to your collection? My name is Ajulam. Welcome to day 2 of my one pattern 3 masterpiece series. So today I'll be showing you step by step on how to sew this beautiful bow pleated dress from scratch, and this dress cost me less than 3,000 to produce 2 pieces of it. So if you really want to know how I did that, make sure to watch to the very end so you can get every detail. Let's get started. These are the materials I'll be using to create this beautiful masterpiece. So I have my 1 yard of satin, and this is a leftover fabric. As you can see, I'm going to be combining these 2 colors, so you can also decide to use any other color aside from this pink, all right, to combine. So this is a leftover, and this is just like, you can see, it's just like half yard. Okay, so I'll be combining these 2, and of course make sure you have your matching lining. So this is my A-line pattern. This is the continuation of the last video that I just posted. So this is my A-line pattern. The first thing I'm going to do is to cut my A-line pattern out, because I want to still keep this one, because we'll be creating more designs using this A-line pattern. So I want to keep this one. So all I need to do is to cut out another one that I'll be using for today's tutorial, and then we are going to alter it to give us the next design, on the thumbnail. So I'll just quickly do this part and then cut it out. Now I have my A-line pattern cut out. I'm going to keep the initial one. This is my original pattern. I'm going to keep it aside. So I'm going to be working with this one here. So this one, I'll be using a 9-month-old size to make this dress. So I'm going to reduce the length. You know, this length is not for a 9-year-old. So I'm going to be reducing this to a 9-year-old size. Now for a 9-year-old, the full length from shoulder to the hem is between 12 and 13 inches. So I'll just make it 13 inches. So I'm going to cut that out. This is my 13 inches line. So I'm going to be cutting it off. Now I am making this for a 9-year-old because of my fabric. This leftover is not much, so the length here is just 16 inches. So I just want to use it for, just to illustrate. So I'll just connect to a straight line, and then remember to remove the 1/2 inch here. So just go up by 1/4 inch, not half, and then connect it back to this line to give us the A-line shape. Although at the end of the video this might not be necessary, because we are going to be altering it, but we just need to make it, make sure that it's complete, everything is perfect. So I'll just cut this out. Now this is the length that I'll be working with for today's tutorial. Now the front, we are going to be pleating it, but the back is going to remain the way it is. Now if you want to know the different sizes for A-line, for jacket, for blazer jacket, for palazzo, for trouser, for skirt, for any type of kids wear, you need to send me a WhatsApp message to get that, because I'm giving out my complete that is the size chart that I work with from age 1 to 13 for different designs. Okay, so that way you will know what to use for each age. For instance, now for this A-line size chart, you will get it there from what to use for age 1 to 13 years. That is for the size chart. Now this is my center line. I'm going to make it visible. So this is my center line. We are altering this pattern now. Okay, now I'm going to mark out. You can also decide to divide what you have on this side into 2. We are going to be combining this. So one side is going to be the plain, and the other side is going to be the flowered fabric. So I'm using this side. So this side is going to be the plain. You can choose where to place the plain, either left or the right side. Okay, so this is going to be the plain, this side is the plain, and this is the flowered part, the material. Okay, so now for this part we've already know what to do. Now we're going to pleat, and before we start pleating, I am going to measure. Is either you divide what you have from here to here into 2, or you just take maybe 1 inch or 1.5. It all depends on where you want your plate to end, okay, or where you want, you know, the joining to come in. All right, so as we proceed further, you understand better. Now I'm going to be using 1.5 because this 1.5 is where I want my flowered material to come in. I don't want it to be exactly on this center line. So I'll just quickly mark my 1.5 from here. 1.5. You can also make it 1 or 1.25. I think I'll go with 1.25. I don't want it to be, you know, to be too far from the center line. So 1.25 is okay. So when you want to make this for older kids, just, you know, eyeball it and check what will work fine for you when you want to combine. So I'll connect. Okay, so now this is where my flowered material will come in, while the plain one will be on this side. Now before I'll slash this open, because you know we're going to be plating this front, before I do slash it open, I'm going to use this pattern to cut out the back and my lining. Okay, your lining should have this shape before we slash and spread. Now for the back pattern, the only difference is that the neckline is going to be high neckline. I don't want it to be the same neckline with this, so it's going to be high neckline. So I'll just use 0.75 or ½ inch neck depth for the back, but every other thing, the shoulder, the armhole, every other thing should be the same, because we are not adding any sleeve to this dress. Okay, so I'll quickly do that so we can continue. Daddy, that's it. Alright, here you can see that I just finished cutting out my lining and the back side. Like I said, the flare is going to be only on the front. So this is my back piece. This is the two of them. This is how it's going to be, and you can see that I added my 1 inch for zipper allowance. Okay, so we're going to finish up the front side, which is where we'll be adding the pleats. Now this is my pattern. For the pleats, you can decide where you want your pleat to start or end. So for me, I don't want my pleat to start exactly on the center line, so I'm going to use the same 1 1/4 on this side. So my pleat is going to start from here all the way down. Now remember that this line is just for where I'll be adding the other fabric, to combine it together. So I'll quickly mark out my 1 1/4. So this is my 1 1/4 here, and then I'll connect it to a straight line. Okay, 1 1/4, 1 1/4. So I'll connect to a straight line. Now this is where my pleats will start from. Okay, now remember that the plain, all this part is going to be the plain, and then here is going to be the other fabric. Okay, so don't mistake, don't confuse on the line. Just take your time and go through this so you get it right. So I'm going to be cutting this part off. Now this is where I'm going to be separating or adding the pleat. So to add the pleat, it's very easy. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, how many inches would you like each of your pleats to have? So for this, I'll just be making each pleat 1 1/2. Okay, if I want it 1 1/2, you can see that it's very tiny like this. Okay, so you can decide to make it 2 inches. By the time you fold, this is what you'll be getting. You can use your tape to see exactly what you have after folding. So this is small for me. I'm going to make it 2 1/2. So this means each of my pleats is going to be 2 1/2, and then I want the plain side, all this part is going to be the plain. So from here to here, I want it to have 4 pleats. So since each of my pleats is 2 1/2 times 4 of that is 10. So from here, I'm going to be making it 10 inches to give me 4 pleats. All right, so I'll just take my time on this part so that you really understand it very well. So I'll start by slashing this part open. Okay, now you see what I have here. Then I will also slash here open. This place I'm going to slash it open, but I'll not be doing that immediately, because why I said I'll be slashing it open, we need to join the other fabric to combine to get the combination that we want. So this is it. Okay, I can still slash it open. So if I slash it open now, so this will go off. But if I place this on my fabric, I'm going to open it till I have 10 inches for the 4 pleats that is going to be on this plain side. So if I place on my fabric, I'll just extend it like this till I have 10 inches from this point. Okay, so let me just quickly do that so you see for yourself. Now if you want to join our online classes, we have different online classes. We have the beginner, the intermediate, the advanced, the cupcake, the blazer jacket. We have so many other online courses. So if you would like to join any of them, kindly send me a WhatsApp message on the number showing right now. So I'll quickly place this on my fabric. This is the plain. So I'll grab my plain satin. This is my satin. So I'll grab it now, open it up. Okay, so this is it. So I am going to start with this other end. So I'll stretch this and then place this on it and pin it down. So I'm going to pin. Alright, so now I'm going to use my chalk, to connect this straight. Sorry, from here to just take it straight. Okay, so this is my 10 inches. This is where my 10 inches end. So I'm going to use my chalk to mark and then connect to this point. Okay, now for the other side, this is where we'll be joining the other fabric. Okay, so this is where we are. You can see I just folded the pleat. You saw the way I measured my 2.5 inch and make sure that it's equal. You know, when it comes to sewing, detailing is very, very important. Now you can see by the time I place this, it's giving me exactly what it's supposed to give. You see what I have here? All right, so after joining everything, I will now cut out the neckline very well. So this part is done. We're going to make the other side, which is the other fabric, and this is the parts that I'll be using for this other side. So this part we'll also plait it. So I think I'm going to do the same thing I did on this part, because all the front, you know, from that side, from this point all the way to this other end is pleated. So I'm going to repeat what I just did here to this other side. You can see that I'm working with 10, so I'm going to maintain the 10 that I used here. This is the other fabric that I want to combine with. So like I said, I'll be maintaining the 10 inches that I used for the other side, but then we are going to alter it a bit. You know, that is this side, we're going to alter it. You know that the 10 inches that I use is just for this. Okay, so in order to maintain the shape, I'm going to use these same inches and then cut that out from here, so that by the time we plait, it's going to give us exactly what it's supposed to give. So all I need to do is just to place this here. I'll just place it here and then mark it all the way to the shoulder line. Okay, so when you want to make this, just take your time. This is very simple. You can actually make this in less than 30 minutes. So just notch and then connect to a straight line. So I'll be cutting this part off and then maintain the 10 inches that I use for the other end. Alright, so this is what I'll cut off and then use this to mark my 10 inches. Now for the plain one, you can see that my pleats are facing this way. So if I want to add this other one, it's going to face this other way, so that it will cover the joining that I'll be doing here. Alright, so as we proceed, you understand better. I'll just quickly cut out this and then mark out 10 inches exactly the same way I did on this other, for this other side. So this will go one side. I'll use this now to get the 10 inches that I'm going to be pleating.
the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. So loud as the hours pass, we're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be We're gonna be two hearts running wild.